This is the new character now. This is Ranger's domain now.
So because you started this last week with Wicket, or 2 weeks ago with Wicket. So let's get into it, man, and start us off.
So a couple streams ago, we made the Wicket character because of the Star Wars celebration and the fact that they showed it, and we decided, you know what? After last week when we had a discussion about Star Wars Rebels, that you know what? Let's start getting Star Wars Rebels characters into the game. So let's start to make these characters. So today we're starting off with Ezra Bridger.
Absolutely.
On the screen you can see a bit of his description. I'll let Ranger go into this because he is the man when it comes to all of this.
Yeah, the lore-wise. So,
by the way,
what's that, Grande?
I said I'm super stoked about this. By the way.
Oh yeah. So. Spoilers. If you haven't seen Rebels, I'm sorry. Then pause the stream, skip ahead. I might hit a spoiler or not trying to do with each of these characters. But if you haven't seen Rebels, I highly suggest you go watch Rebels. It's a phenomenal show. It comes on Disney XD. They just announced it'll be launching September 24th. They're changing to Saturday nights. So I'm super stoked about that. So let's talk about a little bit about who Ezra Bridger is. So in the show, he's a young man that they find the crew on this planet. I can't remember the name of their planet, but basically he's an orphan. His parents had been taken away by the Empire, hates the Empire. He comes aboard, typically to the Ghost Crew. One of the other characters, Kanan, is one of the last Jedi that survived Order 66. He can tell immediately that Ezra's Force sensitive, and through the show he becomes his Padawan. Now they're getting ready to launch season 3, so he will not look like he is on the screen. We debated a little bit if we should change his look to that. We might still do that. We may upgrade his stats because Ezra's story is pretty significant. But he is a character that the Ghost Crew becomes his family. He's very, very protective, mainly because he lost his family. And he's exceptionally brave. He's exceptionally cunning. Gets in trouble sometimes, but he's young, and that's going to happen. So Ezra's one of those really incredible characters that, if you guys have seen the season 2 finale, him and Darth Maul, you can see that the dark side is tugging at him. Ezra's a pretty powerful force user. I mean, he can control animals. He can do a lot of stuff already at an early age, and the more training he gets, from season 2, he's really starting to coming into his own. And it's really funny how his story mirrors Anakin Skywalker's a little bit, in the sense that they both have loss. They fear losing their friends, and they don't want that to happen. And he's hell-bent on getting the power he needs to defeat the Empire. But that's kind of where we started with his abilities. He's very loyal to the crew. He's very loyal to the rebels, or the resistance. And he's one of those characters that really good supporting attacker. He's definitely an attacker. So why don't we go into some of the abilities that we came up with that we would use for Ezra. And the good thing is we're going to do one of these a week. We're going to break down each of the rebel characters. We also, if you can see, we put light side rebel, Ghost Crewman, scoundrel, attacker. Now the cool thing about Ezra is, one thing I was talking about Finn is, I think he might go dark side a little bit of dark side this season. And if it does, wouldn't it be cool to have a light side character and a dark side character that you could use on both sides, because he's pulled to both ways. So that's something that we were thinking about. But I said, well, let's wait for season 3 to kind of play out a little bit, because we don't really have any facts on him yet about season 3. So based off that, we came up with what we thought would be his core abilities. We didn't do any stats or anything like that, but this is his core abilities. So why don't you break those down a little bit, Finn?
All right. So, it's all of his abilities are kind of scrolling on the screen here, but I'll go ahead and read them kind of one by one, so you guys can follow along. One of the things that you guys might notice is the Ghost Crewman. So that is one of the new factions that we have made now to introduce Star Wars Rebels. All of these characters, like Ezra, is still a rebel, but we figured that he needs something different. he's not just a rebel. He needs something in order, like Ranger was saying, he's all about his friends. So we needed something that actually emphasized that he is protective of his friends specifically. So there is going to be some Ghost Crewman synergies that we're going to start making as we get more characters involved. And I saw the message from 80 Grade Screwball. We will be working on Thrawn at some point, so don't worry about that.
We're going to be doing Thrawn. We're also going to do the new characters coming up and speculate on the new Rogue One characters as well.
Yep. So starting off with his basic ability, being as how he isn't a fan of the Empire, his basic attack is expected to do maybe around 4,500 damage from what we were saying. So we're just giving kind of the averages, not the whole general range, but on average probably around 4,500 damage. Simple, it deals physical damage to target enemy. If the target enemy is an Empire enemy, this deals an additional 100% more to damage. So kind of along the same lines as many characters now, he is more specific with Empires though, as that fits his backstory much better than other ones. We made him a 3 ability character, so he has a basic, a special, and a unique. His special is an AoE attack called Hold Them Off. It deals physical damage to all characters, roughly about 3,500, and will remove 30% of turn meter. And against Empire characters, it will remove an additional 20% turn meter. So a lot of these, by the way, we're keeping in line with the game. We use a lot of the current characters in order to get a little bit of inspiration to make sure that it still kind of fits within the game and it's realistic that these might actually be usable.
Yes.
So the last ability is a unique, which is his passive ability. It's when any ally is attacked, Ezra has a 100% chance to gain offense. So these are level 8, by the way. So as you level it up, and then this one, ultimately, when you Omega it, it becomes a 100% chance. But when an ally is attacked, Ezra has a 100% chance to gain offense up until the end of his next turn. If the attacked ally is a Ghost Crewman, so now you see a little bit of the synergy, he has a 50% chance to gain 100% turn meter. So like Ranger was saying, it's a little bit kind of like Anakin, right? Where Anakin gets it all based on the allies and he can gain turn meter. So Ezra is kind of fitting into that same little mold.
A little bit different.
A little bit different. More Ghost Crewman, more rebellish.
Absolutely. So looking at this, Grandi, what's your initial thoughts?
I want to see the Rebel characters, the cartoon show characters, real bad.
Who doesn't?
I just think it's cool because it's going to add a whole nother dimension. It potentially would add another tribal synergy. And I like what you guys have done with it because it does sort of, parallel maybe an Anakin story, or it does sort of parallel maybe a Luke story. And so having him be a little bit conflicted as far as light side, dark side, I think is super cool. I hope CG is taking notes. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we always say that anything we do in this game, they should make real. Even though we know they didn't listen to us, there's been some stuff implemented that we're going to take credit for, even though we didn't have anything to do with it whatsoever. So I thought this would be a cool little thing. We're going to do one of these every week, all the way up into the Rogue One launch. We're going to do the Rebels characters first because season 3 starts September 24th, so we should have all the Rebels characters and Thrawn. We'll see how many we can get in before Rebels starts, but we're going to do those. Maybe even after Rebels starts, we'll do the Rebels characters, and then as we start getting closer to Rogue One, we'll do the Rogue One. Some of them we won't have to do because, Vader's already in there, Grand Moff Tarkin, so, we don't have to really update their information, maybe. But there will be some new Empire characters, like Chiswick and some other ones that we can do on the Empire side. Death Trooper. We can do Death Trooper and add that in there. So we'll break all those down. So let us know what you guys think about this. Just to open up the discussion. I can't see the chat right now, so is anybody saying anything in chat, Grandi or Finn?
Duncan was saying that he thinks he needs a stun on his first ability because his lightsaber has stun guns attached to it.
Could do that.
And I do remember. I do remember when I was looking into the character a little bit, he had the slingshot at the beginning, so I was thinking that we might.
Yeah,
do
his
like
lightsaber. His lightsaber is actually a gun. There's one that you're looking at right now. He can shoot. He can shoot and stun people with it. So we could probably incorporate another attack where Ezra shoots a target and has a certain percent chance to stun. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. So what we will do, by the way, is after the stream, in the description of our stream here, I'm going to put a link to the image. I'm going to post it up on our website as soon as we're done here, and you guys will be able to look at it, give us some feedback. You can give us feedback in the stream or comment on the webpage, but we'll put it up to share. So we'd love to hear more comments like that. So Duncan's is a great one, and yeah, please keep them coming.
Awesome.
I think you have a little idea about where we're going next with all the crewman faction now.
Mm-hmm.